Today we're taking a look at the Memphis Grizzlies vs Chicago Bulls match, which is happening on Friday, April 16, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. It has been an ugly freefall for the new-look Bulls, with the team losing their last 4 consecutive games, including Wednesday's meeting with the lowly Orlando Magic. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies have fallen in 3 of their last 4 outings. The Memphis Grizzlies will be trying to reduce their deficit in the Southwest Division standings when they face the Chicago Bulls on Friday night. The Grizzlies are coming off a 114-113 loss to Dallas as 3-point underdogs. The Bulls are coming off a 115-106 loss to Orlando as 9.5-point favorites. The Chicago Bulls are holding on for dear life to the final play-in spot in the Eastern Conference, but it hasn't been easy. The Bulls need to play better if they want to keep it, and it will have to start Friday against the Grizzlies. The Bulls come in at 22-32, 10th in the Eastern Conference, while the Grizzlies are 27-26, 8th in the Western Conference. The Grizzlies beat the Bulls earlier this week on April 12, 101-90 in Memphis. The Bulls need to win this one at home. So here's my first betting suggestion for that game. The Chicago Bulls have probably been one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA, definitely since the trade deadline. For a team with 2 All-Stars, they are not playing like it. The Grizzlies have no All-Stars, but they are the exact opposite of the Bulls, a team that is overachieving. Memphis just does the little things well. They play good defense. They are an excellent rebounding team, and they don't turn it over. They battle and keep games close, which shows in their excellent record against the spread this year. They are 33-20 against the spread this year, and 15-9 on the road against the spread. The Grizzlies neutralized Nikola Vucevic and made Zach LaVine look human when these two teams met on Monday. They managed to hold the Bulls to only 90 points of total offense at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. The latter is the most concerning part for the Bulls. They have clearly played their best basketball this season on the road than they have at home. So Monday's meeting was their best shot at knocking off a Grizzlies team hell-bent on earning a spot in the playoffs. Now, they'll be under their home roof without LaVine on the floor. There's no home-cooking feeling emanating from that recipe. If anything, it seems more like a recipe for disaster for a Bulls team clearly on a downward spiral. Ja Morant and company will turn up the defensive heat and keep the Bulls on their heels throughout this contest. Vucevic is a talented player, but he can't carry this team on his shoulders. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Memphis Grizzlies. Everything is setting up nicely for the Grizzlies ahead of their road trip to Chicago on Friday. The Bulls have looked like an absolute mess on the court, despite their last-ditch effort to add talent ahead of the trade deadline. Unfortunately, they'll also be playing without star guard Zach LaVine, who is currently in the league's health and safety protocols. Memphis can't afford to lay an egg in this one. The inconsistent play needs to end if the Grizzlies have any hope of holding on to the 8th seed in the playoffs. They were recently dealt a crushing blow by the Mavericks at home in a game they could have won. It was one of those losses that could come back to haunt them if they're not careful. Memphis is averaging 112.9 points per game. They finished with 113 points in their last game, making 47.2% of their field goals and 38.2% of their three-pointers. Grayson Allen led the way for Memphis with 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Jonas Valanciunas finished with 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 2 assists, while Ja Morant added 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for the Grizzlies. Memphis has played well defensively, giving up 110.9 points per game. They gave up 114 points in their last game, and will need to do a better job if they want to get the win. The Grizzlies were led by Grayson Allen, who poured in 23 points on 6 three-pointers. Jonas Valanciunas had a double-double with 19 points and 15 rebounds, while Ja Morant chipped in with 17 points. Also, Dylan Brooks added 15 points and Desmond Bane tossed in 11 points. The Grizzlies remain without Justice Winslow and Jaren Jackson. Memphis has been feisty on the defensive end of the floor, and they should be able to pose some serious problems for a Bulls team still searching for an identity. At the very least, they won't face the daunting task of keeping LaVine in check, although Jonas Valanciunas will have his hands full with Nikola Vucevic. However, the Grizzlies can eliminate that defensive pressure entirely if they can get their offense going. For whatever reason, they have looked more explosive offensively when playing away from their home building. That should especially be the case when facing a Bulls team allowing an average 47.7% shooting at home. The opportunities will be there for the Grizzlies, but they can't afford to waste them. Their hope was that pairing a talented big man with burgeoning superstar Zach LaVine in the backcourt would give them a chance to compete in the Eastern Conference. Granted, no one expected them to win a championship, but there was hope they could turn their season around and go on a late playoff run. It looks like neither of those scenarios will play out for the Bulls. Wednesday's embarrassing loss to the Orlando Magic at home marked their fourth straight defeat. It certainly doesn't add confidence with them hosting the Grizzlies on Friday without their best player on the floor. LaVine will reportedly miss multiple games after being lumped into the league's health and safety protocol. Another dagger for a Bulls team close to hitting rock bottom. Chicago is averaging 112.2 points per game. They finished with 106 points in their last game, making 47.7% of their field goals and 45.9% of their three-pointers. Zach LaVine led the way for Chicago with 30 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 blocks. Nikola Vucevic finished with 29 points and 11 rebounds, while Daniel Theis added 16 points and 6 rebounds for the Bulls. Chicago has struggled defensively, giving up 113.7 points per game. They gave up 115 points in their last game and will need to play better if they want to win this game. This is the team, the Magic, that got rid of all its good players, including Vucevic, to tank and rebuild, and yet they still beat the Bulls 115-106. Vucevic had a good game with 29 points and 11 rebounds, but he has not managed to have much of an impact in the win column. Also, Zach LaVine had 30 points. But the Bulls got little production outside of those two. The only other player in double figures was Daniel Theis with 16 points. The offense stunk despite LaVine averaging 27.5 points per game. They could be downright atrocious without him. Vucevic has to lead the way in Chicago as he did in Orlando against a Grizzlies defense that's ranked 7th in the league in defensive efficiency. At least lead assist man Thomas Satoransky is probable for the game. That should at least cushion the blow from a ball control perspective. But there's no hope if the Bulls continue to disappoint on the defensive end of the floor. If they allow Ja Morant and company to get into an offensive rhythm, it's game over for Chicago. So here's my second betting suggestion for that game. The Grizzlies are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 road games, 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games against a team with a losing record, and 19-7 ATS in their last 26 games overall. The Bulls are 1-4 ATS in their last 5 home games, 4-10 ATS in their last 14 games against a team with a winning record, and 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games overall. Head-to-head, the under is 3-0-1 in the last 4 meetings overall. The Grizzlies are 1-6 ATS in the last 7 meetings overall, and the Grizzlies are 1-4 ATS in the last 5 meetings in Chicago. The Chicago Bulls look for a win here to snap a 4-game losing streak. The Chicago Bulls are averaging 112.2 points on 47.9% shooting and allowing 113.6 points on 47.6% shooting. Zach LaVine is averaging 27.5 points and 5.1 assists, while Nikola Vucevic is averaging 22.5 points and 9.8 rebounds. Larry Markkanen is the third double-digit scorer, and Kobe White is dishing 4.4 assists. The Chicago Bulls are shooting 36.9% from beyond the arc and 80.1% from the free throw line. The Chicago Bulls are allowing 35.2% shooting from deep and are grabbing 44.7 rebounds per game. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under. And now for some stats and trends. Grizzlies are 6-1 ATS in their last 7 games, following an ATS win. Grizzlies are 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games versus a team with a losing straight-up record. Grizzlies are 9-2 ATS in their last 11 games, playing on 1 day's rest. Bulls are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 after allowing 100 points or more in their previous game. Bulls are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games overall. Bulls are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 when their opponent allows 100 points or more in their previous game. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.